You know what I mean? Like that's what they're saying. They're covering the eye and they doing stuff like this. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, even Tupac. That's why I wore this one because we're gonna talk about him twice. But he's doing the eye in the FU signs. Um, so number two on this list, since I'm talking about that, is Jay-Z is in the Illuminati,
Okay.
right?
Um, First of all, I mean, I it's a great backstory for some people's imagination. I can neither confirm or deny. However, I can recognize it as just being a story, just like your average ghost story, just like your average, whatever type of backstory that people want to make up. It doesn't make any sense for some secret society in hip hop. I'll put it in hip hop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. There could very well be many different secret societies. I believe there are. But as far as this Illuminati that's based in rap music, I think that's ridiculous. I think it's like what is it? First of all, any big conspiracy, right? You at some point has a whistleblower.
Mm-hmm.
So there's never been a whistleblower. Nobody's ever came out and said, I got photos. I secretly videotaped a meeting or none of that stuff. All it is just these random photos of people doing whatever they do when they're with themselves or with their friends. And everybody's like, yeah, that's it right there. They made the secret sign, Well,
Yeah.
find a room, the video with these hip hop artists all together, with candles in the dark with masks on, busting raps and putting up diamond signs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's gotta be at some point, especially for as long as this has been going on, somebody would have had to got the bad end of the stick and came out of there and be like, I was with the Illuminati, but fuck them. They fucked me over and I'm spilling the beans. That's not happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I did the rock sign, right? So everybody's doing that, but
Yeah.
it turned out that diamond symbol was believed to be representing the Illuminati. That's where the whole thing came from, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing. Yeah, other ideas about Jay-Z wearing a shirt that's from Aleister Crawley, I think
You
it's
know
his
what?
name.
He
Thou
even
shalt thou do that what thou wilt. You know what I mean? And dude's
he
a serious,
yeah.
Satanist. You know what I mean? So
that
it
that
just it.
that really came from the On to the Next One video, which is my favorite video with Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I'm not like I
yeah,
said before, I love hip hop. I'm not a super huge, Jay-Z fan. I dig him. He's dope. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I don't run out and get his albums, but I listen to different songs. If there's something that's dope, I'll put it in my playlist or whatever. But that On to the Next One video was super dope. It was art, but
yeah.
you can't find that video. You can't find it on YouTube or nothing now. It's like on Tidal or something like that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
he kind of wrapped it up because it's like there's too many people that's creating these stupid stories behind this video because it's got the visuals and the skulls and everybody's making up, whatever.
Yeah, he's a Luciferian. He's a Satanist.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
in the Illuminati.
right.
Um, yeah, and of course, he has a song called Lucifer with Kanye West.
Yeah,
That Lucifer, son of the morning, or whatever they had. It. It's a dope song, but I mean, it also lends to the conversation, right? I was also thinking because I love conspiracy stuff. We're going to talk about conspiracy stuff through the podcast too, do however long we doing this, man, through the years, and um, you know, that particular one was I kind of thought about it like, man, they probably doing this stuff because everybody's gonna talk about it.
mhm.
Soon as they do a picture with covering the eye, oh, they in the Illuminati, and then it becomes chatter, it becomes talking points. All press is good press, right?
Yeah,
So if you're talking negatively or positively, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's going to be good for you. So, anyways, all right. Well, that's cool. That's the Jay-Z one. We got to move on because number one was a trippy one, man. And I feel like I heard about this, but I didn't really look into it too much back in the day because I was like, this one is just weird. So we've all heard of cloning, right? I love your that face you just made.
Yeah.
So we've
Okay.
all heard of the cloning thing, right? There's this idea that the Hollywood people are being cloned, or like political people, or that cloning. I wouldn't put it past science to be there,
Mhm.
at this point. But so number one on this was Gucci Mane. That Gucci
Oh,
Man was
because he lost weight and got in shape when he was locked up.
Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane was released from prison, and fans noticed that he looked completely different. And you know what? On the real, I was like, okay, he did look different. Now here's where it gets weird though, because I don't know if they do tattoo removals in prison. Do they? I mean, somebody out there,
I
that
thought I heard a
happens.
story. I thought I heard a story a long time ago. I mean, I've heard tattoo removal stories.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it's done in prison, but it could be. I think I might have heard a story about, people getting out of gangs, and there being a program that allows them to remove their. So I don't know positively, but I definitely know of tattoo removals and people that were affiliated with gangs utilizing this service to get rid of
Hmm.
their gang affiliated tattoos.
And that's kind of why that's why I was mentioning it, because I was like, well, is it available for people in prison? Because he was in prison. I mean, I just didn't think you could just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go over to the tattoo shop and get this thing removed. But if it was something that he wanted to take removed, then and he's Gucci Mane. He's a famous rapper.
Do we know that it was done in prison though? I mean, first of all, if
Well, that's what they're saying, is that when he went in, he had that big ice cream tattoo on his face. If you remember
Mhm.
that, it was
Yeah, yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Um,
But
and then what?
does anybody have a video of him walking out of the prison without it on his face? And again,
Well, I think that was. If I'm reading it right, that so fans believe. Oh, well, let me see. That he had missing some of his famous tattoos, such as the ice cream cone face tattoo. So I don't know if they're saying that it was just not in the next picture they saw of him out of prison. You know.
right.
So you're saying he could have went out and got it done after he got out of prison, right?
Yeah, he could
Uh,
have. I
uh,
mean, like I said, if you don't,
there's probably photos. There's probably photos of it.
yeah, I mean, if you don't have a video of him walking out of the prison for the first time after all the time you've been in there with it gone, and then also, I I don't know if it's possible or not, but I don't think it would be too far fetched if that was possible to get tattoo removals while you're locked up.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe they don't do it, maybe they do, but I don't think it would be far fetched. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and so with interviews that had gone on with Gucci, and people asked him that, what happened to and so the theory is that he was killed in prison. That's what it's saying over here on this thing that I'm looking at, and that he's a government clone.
Mhm.
In other words, he's perpetuating an agenda that we will get to
Mhm.
down in number five of my conspiracy theories that I want to talk to you about, which we could do a whole show on number five. But that he's a government clone to perpetuate, prison, to get, to have music that continues to push people into drug dealing, and for the prison complex, to keep that pipeline going,
Yeah. Mhm.
because he's really popular rapper. I actually never really got into him early, but I sort of like a lot of his newer stuff. Like, it's
Mhm.
just weird. What's this? Is it "Wake Up in the Sky"? Wake up in the it's
Oh
all
yeah,
till
with
I'm
Bruno
down.
Mars and Kodak
Yeah,
Black. Yeah, that
that
song.
song that song is dope. And I was
Mhm.
like, man, Gucci is like finding me later in his career when I didn't even really pay attention to him in the beginning. But
Yeah.
all right, so that's a wacky one, right? That's what I'm talking about. And if anybody out there has anything to say about it, of course, let's put it in the comments. Whether you agree or you don't agree, or you think it's
I have a
crazy.
disclaimer though. If anybody's gonna come with some comments, see, I'm the type of person that you got to come with receipts. I hate just because anybody can just say any old thing and type any old thing, and I saw and this and that. Come with some receipts. Like I said, if we know if we know that he came out like that, then show a video of him walking out, not, without, you know what I mean? Or if you have some theory.
All right. Yeah. And that's why most of our conspiracy conversations are gonna go really well, because I'm a huge believer, and Slap is like, nah. And we're gonna talk about some paranormal stuff at one point, because I gotta point out something he told me once, but that's another episode. I'm gonna keep going with this one. But
When we get to that, I've had a further thought on that.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah. Remember that one, because when we get into that down the road, we're going to talk about that. All right, and so we're moving on from the conspiracy theory that Gucci Man was clothed, right?
Okay.
All right. So now we're going to my boy Tupac. Right, I had to wear my shirt.
One more thing. I have a partner that's friends with Gucci Man, and
okay.
I think if that was the case, I mean, I probably would have heard something from him.
Yeah.
Man, that's not my boy no more, man. I don't know what happened. He didn't know none of our old memories.
Switching up on us. All right, so now getting back to the list. All right, so we're talking about my boy Tupac right here. I had to put his shirt on. I bought this shirt to go to Vegas because I was there on the anniversary of when he got killed on the Strip. Rest in peace. One of my favorite rappers of all time. He's from the Bay, or from New York, but lived in the Bay. Well, anyways, that he's still alive. That's a conspiracy. That he was shot and killed, but that he's still alive today. Somehow, some way, he made his way to Cuba, and has been hiding there ever since. And the albums that were released after his death, under the pseudonym Machiavelli, which was released by, which is a reference to Niccolo Machiavelli, the Renaissance philosopher who Tupac read about in prison. Machiavelli faked his own death, and the theorists believe that Tupac did the same thing. That's where the theory comes from, right? Mm-hmm. There are also people didn't see the body. He was just rushed to the hospital. Family probably didn't want all that. That was it. It was like he got shot, he died in the hospital. That's all we get, right? Mm-hmm. And he's a huge star, man. He was a movie star, biggest rapper of all of that time. You know what I mean? I won't say all time, but sadly he had to pass, and he couldn't continue with his legacy of being that great. But as a weirdo that I am, bro, I would love the fact to believe that that's true. That he figured some way out to do this. Shug got him out of jail. He gave Shug all this material. They conspired some type of thing he's dead, and now he gets to live his life out somewhere else instead of going back to prison.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I went with this idea that maybe they did figure this out. Shug gets a whole bunch of music to keep putting out year after year after year. And there's the other conspiracy that Tupac was trying to get out of his contract within 1 year with 5 albums. Mm-hmm. And that Shug may not have wanted that and had some part to do with it. But Shug was in the car. That's kind of that's a conspiracy that falls apart. But the idea that he's still alive, I know you right away was like, nah, he's gone.
No, and I used to say, because I had the pleasure of meeting him when he was with Digital Underground. We had a mutual friend. I think we mentioned him last time, Ray Love. No, it wasn't that. I was listening to Drink Champs, and Money B was on just recently on Drink Champs. So he was talking about Ray Love and all of that stuff. So yeah, me and my homies was friends with Ray Love, and that's how we heard about Tupac, and then we ended up running into him. But so no, first of all, there would be no reason to do that. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, the thing was like a 7-year thing, whatever. So we're way past 7 years where he could have came back, but there's just no reason to do that, whatever. And first of all, Pac was not the type of person to stay out of the limelight. So it would have been impossible for him to be chilling somewhere. He would have, look, He would have, if he would have did the Machiavelli, he would have